Okay, so first question, who would win in a fight between Ted and the giant chicken from Family Guy?
That would probably be a draw. They would fight to a draw.
So we are obviously here to talk about your movie, but there are a couple of clear references to two great John Hughes movies in Ted 2. So I was asking myself, what does it mean for you, John Hughes, as a filmmaker and as a person?
Yeah, well, I can tell by your shirt that we probably share a mutual regard for that era of filmmaking.
Yeah.
John Hughes to me was a guy who was a very, very funny writer, with both verbal and visual comedy, but really understood both character and how to craft a sympathetic character and somebody that felt real and hysterically funny, but at the same time very likable. But at the same time, he really was an extremely talented director. He was an extremely talented filmmaker, and I think a lot of people don't give him the credit that he deserves because he made comedies. But he really understood subtlety and was very creative. There's a scene in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles where Steve Martin is trying to remember where he saw John Candy, and he keeps looking across at John Candy in the next seat, and you cut back to John Candy, and it's still the airport background that he's in, but in the foreground is the door of the cab that he originally saw him in, and Candy makes that face, and it's this wonderful little bit of specificity that just kind of reminds you, oh yeah, this guy was way better than anyone ever gave him credit for because he wasn't making The Godfather.
So, speaking of movie inspiration, can we say that the wonderful musical opening of the movie is like a great love letter to musicals that you love very much, and even those great comedians like Mel Brooks, who makes and have made great comedies, but also great musical scenes?
Yeah, I mean, Mel Brooks, there are a lot of really legitimately great tunes from Mel Brooks movies. I mean, High Anxiety is a great tune. Mel Brooks actually sings that in the movie and sings it really well. And the orchestration is great. It's a great song. Blazing Saddles, great song. I remember hearing at one point he always felt like every movie should have a song. And I think if you can do that and do it well and make it work in context with the rest of the movie, then that is a good thing to have. It just kind of classes things up, makes it a little more fun.
So, does the success of the first chapter give you much more liberty to dare a little bit more with Ted 2, or is not so important?
To some degree. I mean, yeah, you have the advantage of characters that people are now familiar with, and characters that they like, and I think that does give you some liberty. You know, we're never out to shock just for the sake of advancing the envelope. We're out to make people laugh and tell a good story, and you know, oftentimes the jokes that get the biggest laughs can be benign. The F. Scott Fitzgerald joke in the movie is pretty benign subject matter, and yet it gets a laugh because it's funny.
So, thank you very much, and compliments again on the movie.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Thanks so much.